according to the security camera footage. Yeah. And the woman that actually came over to the table where Ice Spice was sitting with a friend attacked Ice Spice. You can see the two of them get into it. And she gave her perspective on that fight. Here's what she said.
So I go up to them and I'm giving her a compliment. And then immediately, Ice Spice was just being rude. She was like, why are you over here? You could leave. Bye. I'm like, you in LA, you in my city now. But like, if you wanted us to leave, you could have just politely.
Ice Spice went to McDonald's for a meal and left with a lawsuit. But will you blame her? She just went to eat, only to get slapped by a fan, and now she signed a Wendy's deal. Stay tuned because we're breaking down everything, the fight, the full story, and all the reactions.
You know, she was a white woman, a young, white lady, and she was just sort of just sitting there. But like, why was Ice in McDonald's sitting there eating, no security?
Ice Spice had gone to eat at McDonald's in the early hours of April 15th, 2026. One of the hottest rappers in the game is just sitting in a Hollywood McDonald's, minding her business, eating her food. No drama, no cameras. Just a late-night meal with a friend, and a woman walks up to Ice Spice's booth. Not to ask for an autograph, not to take a quick photo. She jogs up, tries to slide right into the booth like they're old friends, and when Ice Spice signals for her to leave, this woman slaps her in the face, multiple times. The whole thing was caught on surveillance footage, later obtained by TMZ, and the internet absolutely lost its mind. Let's break down exactly what happened. Who said what, and how Ice Spice pulled off one of the most iconic responses to getting attacked that we've ever seen.
So you from Cali? So go check out. So you from Cali? Are you from Cali? Where you from? Are you from Cali? Where you from? Are you from Cali? No, I'm from Chiraq. Where you from? Oh, you're from Chiraq. Yeah. So where you from? So where you from? I'm from McDonald. I'm from Wendy.
According to the footage and accounts from both sides, Ice Spice was at a Hollywood McDonald's in the early morning hours with a friend, just eating. Normal night. A woman, later identified as Vaya, jogged up to their booth and apparently tried to join them. Ice Spice, not knowing this person, pointed toward the door, the universal sign for, "You need to leave." That's when Vaya snapped. She slapped Ice Spice across the face. Now here's where it gets wild. Ice Spice didn't just sit there. She climbed over the booths to go after her attacker. The fight moved outside into the street, where a second confrontation broke out. During that struggle, Ice Spice reportedly smashed the phone of one of Vaya's associates. By the time it was all over, what started as a late-night meal had turned into a full-on brawl on a Hollywood street. Of course, both sides have their version of events, and they could not be more different. Ice Spice's attorney, Bradford Cohen, made it crystal clear. This was an unprovoked attack, plain and simple. His client was sitting down, eating her food, doing absolutely nothing wrong, when a stranger walked up and started hitting her. He filed a report with the LAPD and announced they're looking into both criminal and civil charges, not just against Vaya, but potentially against McDonald's itself for failing to provide adequate security. Now Vaya? She had a completely different story to tell. She went to TMZ and said she originally walked over to compliment Ice Spice. A compliment. But according to her, Ice Spice was rude, dismissive, and allegedly called her the B word.
Her compliment, and then immediately Ice Spice was just being rude. She was like, why are you over here? You could leave. Bye.
Vaya also made a point of saying she's from Los Angeles, and that she wasn't about to let some rapper from New York come into her city and disrespect her like that. So on one side, you have an unprovoked attack on a celebrity minding her business. On the other hand, you have someone who says she was disrespected and reacted. The surveillance footage shows Ice Spice pointing to the door before things escalated, but whether that gesture was rude or just a boundary depends heavily on who you ask. What's not up for debate is that fists flew, the internet was watching, and Ice Spice was about to respond in the most unexpected way possible. After the video started circulating, Ice Spice did something no one saw coming. She posted the footage herself on X, formerly Twitter, with one of the most perfectly crafted captions in recent memory. "This wouldn't happen at Wendy's." That's it. That's the whole post. The internet exploded. People couldn't stop laughing. Here was someone who just got attacked in a fast food restaurant, and instead of going into hiding or releasing a tearful statement, she turned the entire moment into a joke and a business opportunity. Because not long after that post, Ice Spice starred in a brand new Wendy's commercial.
You think this is a game? That wouldn't happen at Wendy's. That wouldn't happen at Wendy's. That wouldn't happen at Wendy's.
She took an assault, a viral moment, a trending topic, and converted it into a brand deal. That is the kind of unbothered strategic energy that very few people actually possess. Most of us would be shaken up, embarrassed, or furious. Ice Spice? She was already thinking about the next move. A lot is happening beneath the surface here. Yes, it's a wild story. Yes, the Wendy's line is hilarious. But there's also something genuinely unsettling about a person being physically attacked just for existing in public, for setting a boundary, for asking someone to leave their space. Fame doesn't mean you owe everyone access to your personal bubble. Signing autographs and taking photos is a choice, not a requirement. And the idea that being rude justifies putting your hands on someone is not how any of this works. Ice Spice's legal team is pushing forward with charges. The LAPD has a report, and Vaya is now internationally known, just not in the way anyone would want to be. Meanwhile, Ice Spice is on your TV screen, burger in hand, laughing all the way to the bank. Unbothered. Iconic. Fed. When that surveillance footage dropped, the internet did what the internet always does. It split right down the middle.
Rappers, man, get some security.
Yeah.
You know, but I kind of understood, the space Ice Spice might have been in.
You think what? What you were saying, that she shouldn't have security? You get
No,
what she
you
was?
said.
Who? Yeah.
That
Oh no,
she should've.
Ray said that. I understand that she didn't want to.
No,
be with
what I
security.
was saying is, what I was trying to say is, I understand how, she might have got. I don't understand how she got caught lacking.
On one side, you had Team Ice Spice. Fans were furious. Their argument was simple. This woman was sitting down, eating her food, minding her absolute business, and a stranger walked up and put his hands on her. Full stop. No justification. No gray area. You don't get to slap someone because they asked you to leave their table. Period. And honestly, a lot of people agreed with that. But then, because this is the internet, the critics showed up too. Some people argued that once Ice Spice climbed over those booths and chased Vaya out into the street, she escalated the situation. That maybe, just maybe, the smarter move would have been to stay seated, call security, and let the cameras do the talking. They said the whole thing could have been disarmed before it turned into a Hollywood street brawl. Look, people are going to debate that forever. But here's what nobody was really arguing about. Why was one of the most recognizable rappers on the planet sitting in a McDonald's at that hour with no visible security? That question came up again and again. Fans weren't just concerned, they were genuinely scared for her. Because if this is what happens at a random fast food run, what else could go wrong? Ice Spice's legal team made it clear they're not letting this go quietly. They filed a report with the LAPD and announced they're exploring both criminal and civil action, not just against Vaya and her associates, but potentially against the restaurant itself for failing to protect a customer who clearly needed it. If you thought the initial video was enough to make people pick a side, wait until you hear what the attacker said afterward. Vaya went to TMZ. She sat down, and she explained.
Ice Spice over there, and I'm like, oh, for real? So I go up to them, and I'm giving her and the other girl she was with compliment, and then immediately Ice Spice was just being rude. She was like, why are you over here? You could leave, bye. And I'm like, why are you being rude, pretty much? And she was basically saying, like, you could just leave, bye. Like, I don't even know why you're at my table. Then that's when I proceeded to ask her, like, you don't got to be rude. I'm just giving you guys a compliment. And I'm like, you know what? Where are you from? She said, I'm from New York. So I said, let me tell you something. I don't care where you're from.
She said she originally walked over to compliment Ice Spice. The internet did not believe her. Fans immediately pointed out that the viral footage and audio didn't exactly line up with someone strolling over to say something nice. The comments were merciless. People mocked her explanation, broke down the video frame by frame, and dragged her for claiming she was the victim of rudeness, while being the one who threw the first slap multiple times. The backlash Via received was intense. She went from being an anonymous person to being globally known overnight, and not in any way she probably wanted. The court of public opinion had already made its decision before any real court got involved. At the end of the day, this isn't just a celebrity gossip story. It's a story about boundaries, about the weird, uncomfortable relationship between fame and public access, about what happens when someone decides that because they recognize your face, they're entitled to your time, your space, your attention. Ice Spice didn't owe Via a conversation. She didn't owe her a photo, a smile, or a seat at her table. Pointing toward the door wasn't rude. It was a boundary. And no boundary, no matter how bluntly it's set, gives anyone the right to put their hands on another person. The legal case moves forward. The LAPD has the report. And somewhere out there, Via is internationally famous for all the wrong reasons. Meanwhile, Ice Spice is in a Wendy's commercial. The internet loves her even more than before, and the only thing left to ask is, what can't she turn into a win?
When Drake DM'd me, I did not really expect that, but I had just landed in LA for my Genius open mic for Munch.
After footage of the McDonald's attack went viral, the music world started watching. Fans wanted to know who's going to speak up, who's going to stay quiet, and most importantly, what was Drake going to do? Because here's the thing. Drake and Ice Spice have history, and not the simple kind. It started back in 2022 when Ice Spice burst onto the scene with her breakout hit, Munch. Drake was one of the first big names to take notice. He flew her out to Toronto. He put her on his radar. For a moment, it looked like one of music's biggest cosigns was in the making, and then things got cold.
It was a movie, it was lit.
Drake unfollowed you afterwards. Do you want to tell us some tea on that?
Drake unfollowed her on Instagram. Fans started dissecting his lyrics for subliminal disses. The warm introduction turned into a very public cooling off, the kind of falling out that nobody fully explains but everybody notices. So when Ice Spice got attacked, the internet immediately started asking, where is Drake? Within days of the incident, unconfirmed reports started circulating on X that Drake had allegedly slid into Ice Spice's DMs. According to these rumors, he reached out to smooth things over, some kind of olive branch in the middle of all the chaos. Then came a widely shared but completely unverified screenshot showing what appeared to be Ice Spice shutting it down, allegedly referencing their history, allegedly unbothered, allegedly not interested in whatever Drake was offering. Now, and this is important, none of that was confirmed. No receipts, no verified source. The internet ran with it anyway, because of course it did. But whether those DMs were real or totally fabricated, they did exactly what internet rumors always do. They kept Drake's name in the conversation without him saying a single word. In the days following the fight, Drake's name started trending alongside something called Iceman, a teased project or song that had fans losing their minds trying to connect the dots.
All know that Academics has no idea what's going on with Iceman. He has no control over the album. He has nothing to do with the album except him coming out here.
Was it about Ice Spice? Was it a response? Was it a coincidence? Was the whole thing a strategic rollout designed to generate exactly this kind of speculation? Nobody knew, and Drake stayed silent. While other artists showed up and spoke up, Drake gave the internet nothing official. No statement, no post, no acknowledgement, just rumors, trending topics, and a whole lot of noise, which, honestly, might have been exactly the plan. But Soulja Boy? Soulja Boy showed up. While Drake was letting the rumors do the talking, Soulja Boy kept it short and real. He posted on social media, "I'm not feeling that Ice Spice shit. I hope she is good." Simple, direct, no performance, no long paragraph. Just a veteran of the game saying what a lot of people in hip-hop were thinking, that what happened to Ice Spice was wrong, that the attack had an unprovoked energy that didn't sit right with anyone, and that she deserved support. The hip-hop community largely echoed that sentiment. The consensus was clear. She was minding her business. Nobody should be putting their hands on artists or anyone. just because they feel entitled to a moment of their time. Soulja Boy's comment wasn't flashy, but sometimes the most meaningful responses aren't. And then Monica gave a masterclass. If Soulja Boy kept it brief, Monica went deep.
What? Why y'all ask me? I saw somebody say, why y'all call her that? We ain't never think. But also, too, I saw somebody die. He hit his head.
The R&B veteran, widely known and respected for her no-nonsense reputation, hopped on a live stream and used the whole incident as a teaching moment. And what she said was genuinely worth listening to. Monica told her followers, "Never let anyone stand over you." She broke it down practically. If someone is standing over you while you're seated, they already have a physical advantage. You've given up control of the situation before anything even happens. Awareness, positioning, preparation, these things matter, especially for women. Especially for women in the public eye who encounter strangers constantly. She was careful to add that she no longer personally condones fighting. She explained that witnessing a tragedy in her youth fundamentally changed how she thinks about violence. Growing up in Atlanta, she was taught to always be ready. But wisdom, she said, means knowing when not to engage just as much as knowing how to protect yourself. She also made a point that fans had been raising all along. The lack of visible security around Ice Spice was alarming. Celebrities in public spaces face a very real vulnerability that most people don't think about until something like this happens. Boundaries get crossed, personal space gets invaded, and sometimes, like in this case, it escalates into something physical before anyone can intervene. Monica wasn't dragging Ice Spice. She wasn't placing blame. She was doing something rarer. She was offering a perspective rooted in real experience. Drake's silence spoke loudly, maybe as loudly as anything he could have actually said. Whether calculated or genuine, it kept people guessing and kept his name trending without him lifting a finger.
You don't let that happen twice, baby. That happened one time, okay? Because when you're fighting, you win some, you lose some. The main thing, I saw a video the other day, something happened to this other young lady. And it's like, number one, you don't ever let somebody stand over you.
But the artists who did show up, Soulja Boy with his 2 straight-to-the-point sentences, Monica with her live stream wisdom, reminded everyone that community still matters. That's when something happens to one of your own. The response doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it's just, I hope she's good. And sometimes that's enough. To understand why people are so fixated on Drake's silence, you have to go back to the beginning. Because this isn't just about a McDonald's fight. This is about a relationship that started with one of the biggest cosigns in hip-hop and then fell apart in front of the entire internet. When Ice Spice dropped Munch Feelin' You in the summer of 2022, she went from a Bronx girl with a buzz to a genuine viral phenomenon almost overnight. And one of the first major artists to notice? Drake. He flew her out to Toronto for OVO Fest. He played her music on his Sirius XM station. He put his stamp of approval on her, and in hip-hop, a Drake cosign isn't just a compliment. It's a career accelerator. It tells the industry, pay attention to this person. For a moment, it looked like the beginning of something real. A mentorship, a creative alliance, something. And then Drake unfollowed her on Instagram. Just like that, no explanation, no public falling out, just gone. And the internet noticed immediately, because the internet always notices. Then came November 2022. Drake dropped a track called Back Outside Boys, and fans started dissecting every line the way they always do. One bar stood out. Rapping about a woman who was a 10 trying to rap, he added, "It's good on mute."
She a 10 trying to rap, it's good on mute. Yeah. It's financial, girl.
Was it about Ice Spice? Drake never confirmed it, but the timing, the description, the context, fans put it together fast. Ice Spice's response? 4 words on Twitter. At least I'm a 10. Clean, unbothered, iconic. The internet loved her for it. Here's where it gets more complicated. Because by late 2024 and into 2025, Ice Spice started walking things back in interviews. She told Rolling Stone that she and Drake were never really on some bestie shot, framing it less as a dramatic fallout and more as a professional relationship that people had simply read too much into. She even mentioned that Drake was excited about her debut album, Y2K, that he was supportive, that they were essentially on speaking terms. So by the time the McDonald's incident happened, the situation between them was somewhere in the gray zone. Not enemies, not close friends, just two massive artists with complicated histories existing in the same industry and a fan base that was desperate for clarity on where they actually stood.
Drake is dropping Iceman episode 4 on May 14th, the day before his album is supposed to come out. And this looks bad.
And it keeps getting interesting. Drake is currently rolling out his 9th studio album. The title, Iceman, set to drop May 15, 2026. The rollout has been exactly what you'd expect from Drake. Theatrical, carefully orchestrated, and designed to keep people guessing. There were viral ice sculpture promotions in Toronto, a cold visual theme running through everything, and a title that, whether intentionally or not, landed right in the middle of a moment when the word ice was already dominating the cultural conversation because of Ice Spice. Fans started connecting dots immediately. Some thought the Iceman project might reference their history directly. Others thought it was a pure coincidence. Others, the conspiracy theorists, the ones who treat Drake album rollouts like puzzle solving, were convinced the whole thing was a calculated move to stay adjacent to a viral moment without ever officially commenting on it. And then the DM rumors started swirling. Shortly after the McDonald's attack, unverified reports began circulating that Drake had reached out to Ice Spice privately. The story went that he slid into her DMs to smooth things over, that he even posted something on X claiming no bad blood. According to the rumors, Ice Spice wasn't having it. She allegedly clapped back, referencing being ghosted by him previously, and making it clear that whatever olive branch he was extending wasn't being accepted. Again, none of this was officially confirmed. But here's the thing about unverified rumors in the age of social media. They don't need to be true to be powerful. They shape perception, they drive conversation, and they put pressure on the people involved to either confirm, deny, or say nothing, which is its own kind of answer. Drake chose nothing, officially at least. By now you've heard about the McDonald's attack, you've heard about the Wendy's commercial, you've heard about Drake's silence and the internet's reaction. But if you really want to understand why this moment hit so differently, why people rallied around Ice Spice so hard, you have to understand who she actually is and where she came from. Because this isn't just a viral story about a celebrity at a fast food restaurant. This is about a 26-year-old woman from the Bronx who built something extraordinary from almost nothing, and who, even in her worst moments, refuses to lose.
You know how it goes.
Yeah.
Real early, like in the Bronx.
Yeah.
You feel me?
90s?
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Real
Got
early.
it.
Isis Nija Gaston was born on January 1st, 2000, in the Bronx, New York. She is of Dominican and Nigerian descent, and music was in her blood from the very beginning. Her father was an underground rapper, the kind who never broke through commercially but clearly passed something down to his daughter anyway. Growing up, she wasn't plotting world domination. She was playing volleyball at SUNY Purchase, living a relatively normal college life. Music was a passion, not yet a plan. And her stage name? It wasn't carefully engineered in a boardroom. She came up with Ice Spice as a teenager, picking it as a username for a fake Instagram account because, simply, it rhymed. That's it. No deep meaning, no branding strategy, just a teenage girl who liked how it sounded. That detail says a lot about her. There's an authenticity to Ice Spice that people connect with immediately. Nothing about her feels manufactured. In late 2022, Ice Spice uploaded Munch Feelin' You, and the internet went into a full frenzy. The song became a TikTok phenomenon almost overnight. That specific kind of viral that doesn't just trend for a day, but burrows itself into the cultural conversation for months. What made it work wasn't just the beat. It was her. The distinctive orange curls, the laid-back, almost unbothered delivery, the way she rapped like she wasn't trying too hard because she wasn't. Her style was relaxed, confident, and completely her own. In a crowded space, she sounded like nobody else. Drake noticed. He played her music on his Sirius XM station. He flew her to Toronto. The cosign landed, the algorithm exploded, and suddenly Ice Spice wasn't just a Bronx girl with a buzz. She was the name everyone was watching. What followed wasn't just hype. She backed it up. Boys a Liar Paint 2 with Pink Pantheress became a genuine crossover smash. Princess Diana with Nicki Minaj, one of the biggest names in rap history, showed she could hold her own with legends. Karma with Taylor Swift proved her appeal stretched far beyond hip-hop. And Barbie World put her in one of the biggest cultural moments of 2023. She dropped her debut EP, in 2023, a tight, confident introduction that gave fans exactly what they wanted while leaving them hungry for more. Then in July 2024, she released her debut studio album, Y2K, and cemented herself as more than a viral moment. She was an artist with a real body of work. The Grammy nomination for Best New Artist followed. So did the MTV Video Music Award for Best New Artist. The girl from the Bronx who named herself after a fake Instagram account was now standing on some of the biggest stages in music. Here's what's easy to miss when you look at the highlights reel. Ice Spice never pretended to be something she wasn't. In an industry that constantly pressures artists, especially young women, to reinvent themselves, to chase trends, to be whatever the moment demands, she stayed remarkably consistent. The curls, the delivery, the energy, it never shifted dramatically based on who she was working with or what was popular. She brought herself to every collaboration, and the collaborations were better for it. That's rare. Genuinely rare. And it's probably why, when the McDonald's video went viral, the public response was so overwhelmingly protective. People didn't just feel bad for a celebrity who got attacked. They felt bad for her. Someone they felt like they actually knew because she'd never hidden behind a persona. When you look at everything together, it starts to make sense why Ice Spice seems so hard to shake. From growing up in the Bronx to earning a volleyball scholarship, her journey was never some overnight fantasy. Even her stage name came from a random fake Instagram account that just happened to sound catchy. Nobody could have guessed that little joke would one day turn into a global brand. Then came the sudden rise. One viral moment changed everything, and before long she was everywhere. Songs were blowing up online, fans were copying her style, and huge artists wanted to work with her. She went from being a regular girl from New York to sharing music with stars like Nicki Minaj, Taylor Swift, and Pink Pantheress. A Grammy nomination followed, along with her debut album, proving she was more than just a viral trend. But what really showed people who she was came after the chaos with McDonald's. The internet tried to turn the situation into drama and embarrassment. A lot of artists would have disappeared for a while or reacted emotionally. Instead, Ice Spice barely looked bothered. Almost immediately, she flipped the attention in another direction with that unexpected Wendy's move, and somehow the whole conversation changed overnight. The person who tried to embarrass her faded into the background, while Ice Spice walked away looking even more in control than before. That's what makes her story interesting. It's not that she's untouchable or perfect. It's that she built herself slowly, step by step, long before fame arrived. Every moment, every setback, and every joke people made only seemed to make her stronger. She's only 26 years old. She's still that girl from the Bronx. Her rap name still came from a random Finsta account, but now the whole world knows it. And judging by how fast her career keeps growing, this story feels far from over. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update.